Hey, what's up, guys? How you guys doing? Rob here with Aloha Android, and today we're going to review a ZTE device for you guys, and it's not the Max. I've been trying to get this review up for a while now, so I do apologize for those who have been waiting for it, but I am going to be doing a review on the ZTE Warp Sync, and this, some people I guess have referred to it as the poor man's Nexus 5, but I beg to differ. This phone is badass. Okay, so let me give you guys some of the specs here. Basically, it sports a 5-inch display on it. The resolution is 720 by 1280 at 294 pixels per inch. It is IPS LCD screen, supports multi-touch. It has an 8 megapixel rear-facing camera with a 1.6 megapixel front-facing camera with LED flash on the rear one. It does record in 720 HD. I believe this has a 1.2 gigahertz. I don't know. Let me check my cheat sheet out here real quick. And let's get it figured out. Yeah, it's a 1.2 gigahertz quad-core Snapdragon 400 processor with an Adreno 305 GPU. And the battery on this is a 2300 milliamp hour battery. So, when we got the spec stuff out of the way, and last but not least, it does have Corning Gorilla Glass 2, so it's got some protection to scratchiness, but it doesn't mean that the screen is shatterproof. And this originally was my device. This is what I picked out to use after the ZTE Max was taken from me a month ago. And I have to say, this is a really, really good device, so I'll kind of give you guys a look of it. Just basically how it is, and we'll display the app drawer. So that's always neat. One cool thing I do like about this though is if you go into settings, you have the ability to blur your background. That is really neat to me. I mean, if you just want to have like that blurred effect. So let me go to like a different screen here, and we'll do it again. We'll blur it. You could do it all the way, or you could just leave it alone. That's pretty neat. I really wish they would have placed that in a different area, like maybe in settings, rather than just right there when you click for settings, because sometimes you accidentally touch that and slide it over by accident. It's really great, really great. I like the way it feels. It's got sort of like a curve to it, and before I forget, we'll take a tour around the device. So up front right here, you have your 3.5 millimeter headphone jack. On this side, you have your volume rocker. On the right side, you have your power button. The bottom, there's nothing at the bottom. And this does not have a dedicated camera button. Micro USB charge port. Speaker on the back right here. And your 8 megapixel camera with LED flashes up here. On the front, you have your 1.6 megapixel camera, and it takes fairly good photos. Let's open up the camera for you guys. Okay, so there's me, and you have the ability to do video record or camera. I just blinded myself really bad. Ow. Oh gosh, you guys want to see a silly face of mine? Check that out. I was blinded by the flash. Let's switch the camera around and do a front-facing camera while a helicopter flies by South Mountain. So there you guys go. You guys are. You guys can see I don't know how well you guys can pick it up from video, but in person the pictures look amazingly great. This phone is zippy and fast, and one thing I didn't mention when I read off the specs is because I was going to talk about this right now, is that this phone has 2 gigs of RAM. So while it having 8 gigs of internal storage with I believe like 4 gigs usable, or like 4.12 gigabytes usable. With 2 gigs of RAM, this thing flies. I mean, And I'm not just judging on the swipies. I just like to swipe the screens. But very responsive. Try to open something that... Well, let's open YouTube. So... But, you know, for it being a budget device, it flies. It's really, really good. I would have stuck with this phone if I didn't want another ZTE Max. This would have actually remained my daily driver, but you know, it's quite fairly big. I mean, for, you know, my fiance has smaller hands, and this is her phone, and it considerably it's like a phablet for her. But, you know, it fits nice in the hand, it fits snug too. 5-inch display, you know, you really, even though the phone seems smaller in your hand, the screen is just, it just pops, you know, at 5 inches. Battery life on this is amazing too. It actually, you know, for a 2300 milliamp hour battery, and my ZTE Max actually having 3200 milliamps, this phone actually stays, you know, it stays with the ZTE Max. I get like a day and a half on this, and she gets a day and a half on this. With heavy use, she gets about a day. So she unplugs it in the morning, maybe about like 8 o'clock in the morning. And, you know, she's like really on it, Facebooking and all that stuff, texting with her friends and chatting or whatever. The phone will actually die on her at like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning the next day. So, like I said, you know, close to almost a day on heavy use, but a day and a half, you know, with mild use and everything like that, especially when she's busy at work. She doesn't have time to be in her social life. Then, yeah. So the battery life on this is amazing. Here it is side by side with the ZTE Max. Don't know why you guys can see that, but yeah, obviously it's a little thicker than the Max. But one cool thing about this is the fact that it does have a removable battery. So there you go. It does not have NFC, so there's no NFC with this, but yeah, it works fairly good. I have to say it does. It works very good. I mean, I'm actually thinking about picking up another one for myself. You know, just, you know, I like my ZTE Max. Sometimes, you know, it's a little big in the hands, and so maybe I want something, you know, more compact to carry around. So I may pick up another one for myself. And this is one of the things that you know, I frowned on the ZTE Max, is when the guys updated KitKat, it didn't get its UI changes to those type icons. Because this comes with 4.4.2 KitKat right out of the box. And so those are the stock icons for it. Other than that, I mean, it's a very, very, you know, very beautiful phone. It's actually heavier than the ZTE Max, or a little bit heavier, not too much. With the removable battery, it's actually pretty good because you can buy an extra battery if, you know, you need more power and you don't have time to charge up. You can just swap batteries out. Unlike the Max, which does not have a removable battery, this one does. But then the downside to it, though, is, well, there really isn't a downside to it. You know, so I mean, definitely a great buy, great pickup for $149.99 with BoostMobile.com, or you guys can get them at Radio Shack for $149.99, and I believe Best Buy also carries them for $149.99. There was a sale that it was down to like $129, but I don't know if that sale's still going. So, wonderful device. If I have to rate this device, it's a 5 out of 5. It performs great. The comfortability in the hand is awesome. The fact that it has expandable memory and removable battery is, you know, a big, huge thumbs up in my book. The picture quality for 8 megapixels, it does not feel like they used a cheap camera in it, nor could I say the same for the front-facing camera, 1.6 megapixels, and I've had cameras that have 2 megapixel front-facing cameras and don't take as good quality pictures as the one on this one does. So they really stepped their game up. ZTE did with the Warp Sync. I know this phone's been out for quite a while, but I really have to say I'm very impressed with the Warp Sync. And if anyone were to ask me if I would recommend this to anybody, you damn right I would. I mean, you know, if you don't want to spend, you know, over $200 on a device, but you want something that, you know, can withstand a lot and is pretty zippy, I would definitely say get the Warp Sync. 2 gigs of RAM, completely just blows a lot of the, you know, the phones that I've had, you know, like the LG Vault, you know, even though the LG Vault still is like, well, this is the brown, but the Vault is a very good phone. 3,000 milliamp hour battery, but the 1 gig of RAM does kind of hurt its user experience. With 2 gigs of RAM, just about everything is zippy and flies just great. So, if you guys have any questions about the Warp Sync you guys want me to answer, go ahead and leave that in the comment section of this video. If you guys like this video, give me a thumbs up, because that really helps me out. Lets me know that you guys are enjoying what I'm putting up for you guys. And don't forget to follow my Facebook fan page for exclusive videos posted only there. So if you guys want to actually check those videos out, then go ahead over to the fan page and check them out over there. And like the fan page to let me know that you guys have been by. And if you guys not have subscribed to this channel, please do so by clicking the subscribe button down that way. My name is Rob with Aloha Android. Thank you guys for watching. You guys are clutch. I'll see you guys next time.